our mastermind of computer coding. It's Dr. Ofnikova, and Yulia's from Russia, and she has a plethora of degrees as well, and experience in technology. She runs Open Hub, the Open Hub project in town. And again, you will get to know more about that as you move forward, because as part of this project is some interacting with this great Hudson Valley project. So we are thrilled to have such talent working on our behalf at the library. And even more so, we're thrilled that all of you girls are here, that your families are supportive of you moving forward with these great new skills that will just propel you into the future and into wonderful, wonderful jobs and opportunities to change the world. So welcome.
Thank you, Mary Lou.
Thanks so much, Mary Lou. Without further ado, I think it's time for us to dive right in. And there's no better way to do that than to pass you off to the very well-kept hands of one of our former students, Alexandria Crawford, who's going to just lead us through a brief icebreaker. And Alexandria, I'm going to pass that off to you if you could encourage folks to go around the room and tell us a little bit about themselves.
Okay. Hi, as was said, I am Alexandria Crawford. I've been in the cohort, this is my 4th cohort now, and I really love the program. So let's get started with an icebreaker, get to know everybody. So what you're gonna say is your name, your age, and a fun fact about you. Angel, turn that down. Sorry. Okay. So Genesis, do you want to go?
My name is Genesis. I'm 11, and when I was little, I had heart surgery, because I had something going on with me, so I had to have it quickly. Oh, and my favorite color is blue, and I like to do art.
Thanks,
Wow.
Genesis.
That's
Bravo.
I'm just typing in order in the chat box, but maybe Erica, you could lead us off next.
Oh, sure. Hi, my name is Erica. I'm 15 and I draw sometimes. I actually drew my profile picture.
This
Very
one?
cool.
This is so cool.
Thank you.
I love it. Mary Lou, do you have something to add or just celebrate?
No, I'm just commenting. I'm reacting.
Yeah,
The icons.
you can react with icons. That's for sure. Bravo.
Do you want to tell us your name, who you are, and a fun fact about you, Mary Lou, now that you have the mic?
Oh, see that? I caught myself. I'm Mary Lou Carolyn. I'm the director of the Newburgh Free Library. I am older than you.
And you're not a quarter.
But not wiser, I'll tell you, from what I'm hearing today. I'm just fortunate to be here. Gosh, a fun fact about me. Oh my gosh. Well, just most recently was able to bring an incredible Harriet Tubman sculpture to the front of the library, which was something that had never been done before, and thought it was, some folks thought, why is the library doing this? It's a little out of its usual thing that it does. The library is usually about books, and so it was a great way to try something new, to do something people didn't think could happen or should happen maybe in some instances, and it showed the library in a different light. So it's all about taking chances and being courageous. So welcome.
And Rhea saw that, and Maria, not Maria, okay. Amy is saying, I love books, right?
Amy, do you want to take us off next?
Sure. I'm Amy Raya. I'm 10 years old, and my favorite color is black, and I like to read.
Why black?
Awesome.
I don't know, I just really like the color.
Awesome. How about Ziana?
Me? Okay. My name is Ziana. I'm 11 years old and I'm 5'2" in height wise. And I have a total of 8 siblings.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. Can
Sounds
you?
like a busy dinner time.
Yes.
Wait, no, only 4 of them live with me currently. The other 4 in North Carolina with my dad.
I see. And we almost see the ceiling, but not your beautiful face. Now we do
Yeah.
see your beautiful face. Look at that. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Did we hear from Rhea?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hi, my name is Ray, and I was born in December 28th, 2012, and my favorite color is white. And sorry for the background noise. And I'm in Fostertown Elementary School, and I do English and Spanish class. Doing good.
Awesome. I love learning about you all. I'm going to say my name is Anusha Mehar. I am also older than you. I am the founder and director of Panja Culture and Wellness Studio here in the city of Newburgh that takes on projects from meditations to murals to some sculptural support to digital wellness initiatives like this. And I speak approximately 5 languages, and my favorite color is yellow. I'm going to pass off to Yulia before we move on.
This is awesome. It's so good. You're all talented with all favorite colors. Ooh, my name is Yulia. Don't try to say my last name. It's so difficult to say. And I am originally from Russia, but I'm so happy to be in Newburgh. Newburgh has my heart, and girls in Newburgh has my most of my heart, for sure. You want to say something, Rhea?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say I was from Jamaica.
Ooh, look at that. We have immigrants in house. Okay. It's nice.
Genesis has a hand up too.
Okay.
Me and Zanaya go to the same gym class.
Awesome. And you both appear right next to each other on my screen. Well, welcome everyone. It is really a pleasure to get to know just a little bit about you on this Zoom call tonight. And we have a lot to dive into, so I'm going to move right along. Are you still screen sharing, or did you stop that so that we could do the introductions?
Correct. I am starting
Awesome.
screen sharing right now again.
Well, most of you, I hope, are here because you want to learn about the Newburgh Girls Code Club. And when you learn how to code, you create something that will change the world. It is a language like many others, and it takes practice. So today, I'm here to tell you about the Newburgh Girls Code Club, which is an imprint of the national organization Girls Who Code, which you may have heard of before, and why you should join, and to answer any questions that you may have about the program specifically here in Newburgh at the Newburgh Free Library. You can go on to the next. You can actually go on to the next 2 slides.
Okay.
So the last few pictures that you have seen are our students in full participation mode. Girls Who Code is a nonprofit organization dedicated to closing the gender gap in technology. Tech jobs are among the fastest growing industries in our country, but less than a quarter of computing jobs are held by women. Less than that, even still, are held by women of color, and even less than that are women of color in leadership in tech jobs. Girls Who Code aims to change that. And go on to the next slide. So our club is free. I realize sometimes that we don't bump that enough on all of our promotional materials, but the Newburgh Girls Code Club is a free after-school program that uses computer science to impact your community, in this case, the greater Newburgh area, and join a sisterhood of supportive peers and role models. It's open for youth from 10 to 18 years old who are girls or girl identifying, regardless of their school status. That means you can be enrolled in school, but you also don't have to be enrolled in school to join the program. I want to now show you or give you a couple examples of real Girls Who Code members from across the country. So Raven, who's pictured in the first bubble, is a 15-year-old Alabama girl who learned how to code at the Orlando Public Library, less than 2 miles from the Pulse nightclub. If you're not familiar with what the Pulse nightclub is, it was a queer nightclub that experienced an act of domestic terrorism, and there was a shooting in that club. And so after the Pulse nightclub shooting, Raven wanted to pay her respects. So her group used their coding skills to create a digital memorial for the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. In the second bubble, you'll see Maya and Lucy. Maya and Lucy are 2 middle school coders from New Jersey, and they heard about the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. If you're not familiar with the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, essentially there was lead and other toxic chemicals in the drinking water of residents of Flint, Michigan. And unfortunately, elected officials widely knew about it and didn't inform the public, and it made a lot of people very sick. And it caused a fresh water crisis in Flint, Michigan. So they wanted to help. They built a website called Get the Lead Out to educate students about lead poisoning and how to prevent it. And in this third bubble, you'll see Alex, who is a 16-year-old who resides at Brookview House, which is a shelter for homeless youth and underserved women and children. And she participates in the Brookview's Girls Who Code Club, where she's learning to make websites, video games, and apps, much like our students and former students of the Newburgh Girls Code Club as well. I'm going to let the girls speak for themselves, in fact. And so we're going to watch a short video, which is produced by real girls, many of whom are your age, who are participants in the National Girls Who Code organization, which again is the basis of our Newburgh Girls Who Code Club program.
Saying that, I will try to play it, and please indicate if you can hear the sound. Okay.
So far, no sound.
Okay, I'm stopping it right now and I'm trying to plug it differently.
Bear with us as we are always, so as a coder, something that we often talk about is we want to support girls how to fail forward. We live in a society where oftentimes we are sort of plagued with perfection versus process. And as a coder, you will encounter many scenarios where you're not going to get it right the first time, even if you're a person who always gets it right the first time. And that's really important because a real coder knows that you have to keep going to push through to see the same problem in many circumstances from many different sides to figure out the way through. So
let's troubleshoot it together. So I'm playing it again and tell me if you hear the sound.
Hey there, I'm Shannon. I'm Audrey. I'm Margot. We're Girls Who Code, and this is our show, My Code. Each week you'll hear from us about what it's like to be a girl who codes, as well as some tips and tricks about learning computer science. In my free time, I'm a cheerleader, a Boy Scout, and I also teach kids in my local community how to code. In my spare time, I like to do martial arts like karate, and I also like to love to go kayaking, also hiking, painting my nails, bike riding, and so much more. I love playing the ukulele, as well as playing the violin and filming, editing, and directing videos. I learned to code because I love creating things. I wanted to understand how the apps on my phone work, or how my favorite social media sites like Facebook function. I learned to code because it gave me potential career and life I've never thought of before. I've always loved games like Flappy Bird and Rolling Sky. At the time, it seemed like magic. When I learned that they made this stuff through code and that I could learn the code that they used, I thought, why not learn it? Coding lets me create literally anything I can imagine just by typing into my computer. I can create the next Facebook, Sims, or simply code a robot that can perform amazing surgeries. I just remember technology always being a huge part in my life. I've always been fascinated with technology. Even when I was really young, I wanted to know how everything around me worked. I was like, how do planes stay in the air? How do people make movies? Why do microwaves get hot? How was it possible that with the swipe of a finger and a push of a button, all these cool innovations pop up? But I always thought the actual technology behind it and the actual coding would be too difficult to understand. The fear of coding was only in my head, and I shouldn't let that stop me. I should learn how to code because we're a minority in this field. Since computer science is dominated by men, not a lot of products are created for the needs of women. Code allows you to be as open, creative, and expressive as you can be. But as more women join the field, we can have a larger say. Once you know how to code, you become instantly way more valuable for all kinds of jobs. Software engineering, genetics, biology. Even though coding may seem hard and difficult to understand, it's actually very fun. You can create your own personal website or an app that all your friends can download from the App Store. Technology is such a big part of our world, but there are millions and millions of jobs sitting out there waiting for someone like you to go get them. Girls have a lot of great problem-solving skills and great ideas. Companies are looking for you. They want you. So you should go out and take those opportunities. Thanks so much for tuning into our very first episode of My Code. We'll be back next week to talk about what it's like to be a girl who codes. Questions? You can leave those in the comment section below. And I'll see you next week. Bye guys. Thanks. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much. So now you have a taste of just a few real girl coders in action, and something that really stands out. If y'all wouldn't mind muting Jennifer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you so much. We're happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
If you can carry on your conversation, if you need to, if you just mute, thank you so much. Okay. So, yeah, something that really stands out about that video is that coding is one skill that complements so many more layers to these young women. They are designers, they are producers, they are scientists, and coding is an additional skill that adds to their already deep interests in other sectors. And their spirit of inquiry is alive and well and nurtured through code. So this next slide, you see two different photographs. On the left side, you see a photograph of when we were all meeting in person before a totally virtual world that we're living in. Pre-pandemic, we'll call it. We're going to have times that we start to refer to as PP instead of BC, pre-pandemic. And that is in the Newburgh Free Library's computer lab. We do hope to return to a moment where we are meeting in person once it is safe and viable in this sort of upside down world that we're living in. But until then, we have created an entirely digital curriculum to continue serving caliber programming to all of you, or if you're a parent, to your children. And so on the right side, you have a photograph of our first cohort, or a few individuals from our first cohort of the Newburgh Girls Code Club who participated in the Hudson Valley Hackathon, which is put on by Open Hub, the company that Yulia is the director and founder of. It's a great opportunity for girls to really put their coding skills into practice, to to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit and to expand your knowledge, not only amongst your peers, but also amongst individuals who may be far less skilled than you or far more skilled than you, older, younger. The point is that you're all working together towards a common goal, and it's really an incredible opportunity. And so through the clubs, you will have the opportunity to do three things, or at least three things, we'll say. One of which is to build a sisterhood. So in the Newburgh Girls Code Club, you'll meet other girls who are learning to code and having fun doing it just like you. You'll join a safe and supportive environment of peers and role models, and you'll gain an alumni network of girls and girl coders across the country, as well as right here in this community. You'll be connected to past cohorts. And that's really important because we recognize that in this sort of hyper virtual age, increasingly young people are isolated from one another, and we want to do our part to keep folks connected. You'll also learn to, you got it, to code. So coding concepts form the basis of all programming languages. So whether you want to build a website, an app, or a robot, you need to have some kind of coding language skill. If you already have some coding skills, you can deepen your knowledge through the program. And if you don't have any knowledge at all, but you have a burning desire and an interest, we welcome you to the club as well. And then, of course, there's impact. So you'll solve real world problems that you care about through code with your team's CS Impact project, which I'll talk a little bit more about on the next slide. At least I think it's on the next slide. On a next slide. So what will you learn? You will certainly learn teamwork because you will have assignments in which you will be assigned to work in pairs or in larger teams, specifically on this CS Impact project. And I'll speak just a little bit about that. Essentially, you will determine issues that are important to you in the community, that are meaningful, that matter, and that you would like to see shift. And you will then either individually, in pairs, or in a greater group, if you have common interests, figure out how you can use code to solve that problem and have an impact, essentially, a positive impact on your community. So you'll also learn time management. You'll learn confidence, or will enhance your confidence, we hope, and encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. You'll be practicing your communication skills, not only with one another interpersonally, but also for yourself when you're project planning and understanding what it is that you hope to and aspire to design. You'll learn, now these are some coding terms here, functionals, conditionals, variables, and loops. It may sound like I'm speaking Chinese to some of you, but these are actual terms that are part of the coding language. And if it doesn't, that means congratulations, you already have a little bit of coding background and experience. So in the club, actually you can go on to this next slide. So back to the CS Impact projects. Again, you'll work with a team of other peers in your group to create, it could be a game, it might be a mobile app or a website that helps solve a problem in your community that's meaningful to you. And it's really important to emphasize that you get to choose what that is, because we want you to be the leaders that are solving the problems that you create or that you deem as important and meaningful to you. Have any of you, by show of hands, maybe ever worked on a social impact project, maybe not through code, but in a different way? You could just raise your hand on the screen, or maybe you volunteered somewhere, or you in some way engaged in community work that connected you to the greater Newburgh community, whether or not it was a community you identified with. Awesome, quite a few of you, lots of hands, awesome. Okay, moving right along. So now we're gonna give you a couple examples of some really cool projects that folks created. And as you see, these are the graphics of those projects. So the first one with this beautiful feather is the Ojibwe translator, which was created by Chippewa students from northern Minnesota. The Chippewa is a First Nations or indigenous community to North America, also known as Turtle Island. It provides resources about the local tribe's culture, history, and the Ojibwe language. Students say that not many people know how to speak the Ojibwe language anymore, and so they created the project to share the practice of their language in a modern way and to encourage people to speak it. This second very green graphic is Let Us Eat. This is a game that was created by 3 high school seniors to educate people about nutrition and to help them learn about how to take care of their dietary needs. And the third one, with this little doggy or perrito here, is called Shelter Buddies. This is a game that teaches users how to take care of pets so that they can adopt a pet from a shelter. It was created by students from Charleston, West Virginia, who are passionate about encouraging pet care and adoption. And if you'd like to explore these in more detail, Yulia is going to drop a link in the chat, and you can go through any one of these projects in more detail, as well as if you visit the Girls Who Code website, you'll also be able to see any number of national social impact projects that were created by peers your age, other girl coders. So this is a photograph of one of our coding students, Annalise, who is a 12-year-old. Well, at the time she was 12. I suppose now she must be 13 or 14. And she worked on our coding website. Yulia, if you want to click the website, Alexandria was going to take us through a few things and explain a few things about the website.
You want us to do
this
Weebly?
one or the other one?
This is the same website, Alexandria. Or maybe you were talking about a different website.
Oh, I was talking about the other one we made.
Okay.
Yeah, we did so many, right?
That's okay. In which case, you don't have to talk about this one. We can, in a couple minutes, we can do a screen share and you'll be prepared to bring that one up, Alexandria. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Well, on this website, I think you can still go to that website just to give a glance. So we created a website just to capture some of the really hard and inspirational work of our Newburgh Girl Code Club coders. That's a tongue twister at times. And so essentially, in the program, you're not just learning how to code. You're learning how to build relationships. You're learning how to communicate. Again, you're learning time management. You're putting your design skills to use and your critical thinking skills and really thinking about strategic planning before you execute the design of any program. You want to know exactly what it's going to look like on paper first. And so here's a bunch of fun photographs of different girl coders in different iterations of the program, who all worked really hard on their final social impact projects in the 2 cohorts that we've successfully run so far. And we can drop a link to this Weebly website as well if you'd like to explore this in more depth on your own time too. But it was a lot of fun to build with youth, and really exciting just to see everybody shine in different ways in the program or throughout the program. So a few frequently asked questions that are really important. Do I need to own my own computer? The answer is yes and no. So normally when we meet in person, we would provide you with a Newburgh Free Library laptop, which we cannot do for all of our students this semester.
No, and I'm getting ready to leave.
Thanks, Jennifer.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Which we're really excited that we're able to provide for 5 of our students this semester. So in general, we do ask that individuals have at-home access to internet and a computer. But if you don't, for 5 youth in the program this semester, we have secured laptops and mobile hotspots with a plan to ensure that everybody who wants to participate in the program is able to do so regardless of the digital divide, which is really important to us to be able to close. Another frequently asked question is, do I need computer science experience? Not at all. We have activities for students with 0 computer science experience, but if you do have experience, there's always more to learn through the extended activity sets, which are basically activities on the Girls Who Code platform and many other opportunities that we're able to connect you with through the Newburgh Girls Code Club curriculum, expertly crafted by Yulia and our resident mentors. Who is eligible to join a club? So we serve girls and girl identifying individuals. That means they are predominantly girls, but sometimes we also have individuals participate in the program who identify as girls, who are middle to high school aged. So your ages 10 through 18, regardless of school status. That means, again, you may be enrolled in school and you might not be enrolled in school. And that is totally okay, no matter what age you are. Have little to no access or exposure to computer science education in school, and are able to participate for the full 14 weeks of the program. So between orientation and graduation, we have a 14-week program that commences on February 22nd and ends in its final date on June 3rd. Moving right along. So again, the program is 14 weeks on Mondays and Thursdays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Please note, you will only meet once a week for 1.5 hours. So if you are accepted, you will either meet on Monday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. or you will meet on Thursday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And we did that so that we could keep our virtual classes a little bit smaller to 10 people, but that we could expand the program and still accept a few more students than we did last semester to include 20 total in the entire program. All classes will happen via the Newburgh Free Library and Open Hub, Zoom, Google Meet. And again, the start date is February 22nd, end date is June 3rd.
Are we ready to watch this one, or I suggest to listen it later on your own?
I think we should probably listen later on our own, and I'd like to actually pass off to Alexandria to talk a little bit about her experience directly.
Miss Anisha,
Yes, Genesis.
how will we know if we got accepted?
Everyone will receive an email, not next week, but the following week. I believe it's when you're on spring break. We've extended the application deadline to Sunday, February 7th. That's this coming Sunday. And then next week, we will go through all of the applications that we've received to create this next spring 2021 cohort. And please know that if we're not able to accept you into the program at this time, we always ask youth applicants if they'd like us to keep their application on file to be considered for a future cohort.
Okay.
Erica, did we answer your question? Every Thursday she has a conflict.
So as long as you indicate on your application, Erica, that your availability is on Mondays, that's fine. We don't want to ascribe anyone a day that doesn't work for them. We've created these 2 separate days so that there is more option to suit your schedule and that we can keep class sizes small while still accepting a greater number of participants. And Maria, yes, you could go on. Same goes for you. if you have school on Mondays. Amy, yes, Amy, thanks.
Do you have school at 4 p.m. too, Amy? Going so long? Okay.
How about we pass off to Alexandria, and she's going to do a screen share as well to take us through some of the Newburgh Girls Code Club workings.
And you
I
can
love
see.
how I didn't even know that picture got taken of me, and I look so weird.
You look great.
Yeah, you can recognize Alexandria here and there. She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Miss Yulia,
Yes, I have to let you.
Make you a host.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Okay, so this is the that's just my intro slide. I love structure, as you'll find out. But we worked with Google Sites. From my personal experience, this was really good because it gave us a platform to learn and then for us to build up what we wanted to do. So we worked with Google Sites to get ideas for a future website. This website was the Newburgh Girls Code Club. That really is a tongue twister. Our website for the summer coding club. And it was said this summer we worked with wireframes and experimented with Wi-Fi. So this was all the girls from last year. And if we publish the site, you'll be able to see, but the links go to the pages. So like, for instance, Arna goes to Arna's page, Trisha, and so on. And then that's where the links would go. So that's mine right here.
Wow.
And we did like facts about ourselves, just normal things. And I think I can click on
Amy, can you see it?
Can everybody see this?
Yes, I could see it now.
Good.
Okay. So this was Annalisa's page. She was also in 3 cohorts with us. So that's another one. So this is my personal one I've been working on. As Miss Yulia and Miss Anusha know, I have so many unopened websites that I have ideas and I put them down. But that's what Newburgh Girls Code Club taught me. You can have ideas and just do it. You can perfect it later, but you can learn how to do it for now. So that's my personal one right here. This is all I have done so far, but I'm getting there.
Look, that's how serial entrepreneurs look like. They have the idea, they throw the idea into the website, and they see the traction. If the idea is viable, if people do like their website, then they build on top of that, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So the next thing we learned how to, as Miss Anusha said, we learned how to apply coding to our everyday life. So this was just a code for change project. It was basically, we had to pick a global cause right now. So I picked pollution and air quality. And I actually learned that coronavirus was, as bad as it was, it really helped the environment because less people were going out. They weren't using their cars. And if they had to go somewhere, they walked. And it said the air was so much clearer. And I was like, wait, what? But then as I read into it, I was like, that makes a lot more sense. So you definitely learn how to apply coding to your real life because it makes you think, like what's something really important and what do I have to think of? And what can be, what's the word? What will work? You also build friendships and you learn how to build websites. And we worked with websites for coding, such as Code Monkey. We worked with W3 Schools and Scratch. So those are just some pictures that were already shown, but all in all, Newburgh Girls Code Club was really wonderful. It showed me everything. It helped me out of my comfort zone because I was never shy. I just didn't want to try new things. And I remember when I first started coding, I was so mad. I was like, I can't do this. This is annoying. And me, I'm really stubborn and impatient. So if I don't get it right the first time, I want to leave. But you definitely have to learn patience, and you definitely have to know you cannot be a perfectionist anymore. It's because you're gonna mess up. I mean, I always said to myself, I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's easy. I'm not gonna mess up. Don't know what I said that to myself for. But yeah, with all that being said.
Well said, Alexandria.
One more.
Bravo.
Oh, thank you so much, Alexandria. It's really awesome to get your firsthand experience on the coding program, especially as a participant who participated for 3 cohorts and also served as a peer mentor. So we're always excited to have your perspective. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Now, I want to open up the floor to folks to see if you have any questions at this moment in these last few minutes. Now would be a good time if there's anything that we didn't cover that you are curious about or that is a burning question that you're holding. And it looks like Ziana, you have your hand raised. And then Genesis will go to you.
I had a question about the computer situation. Like currently I signed up and I'm joining in the Zoom with my Chromebook right now. But for the coding and stuff, would I need a separate computer?
That's a great question. And so the answer in short is yes. We will likely be using Zoom as our primary platform, and it's not accessible via the Newburgh Large City School District administered Chromebooks. There are also some coding platforms or languages or softwares, I guess you would say, that are not accessible via the Chromebook. They're just unsupported. And so if you didn't have that access at home, we would otherwise provide it to 5 individuals in the club. It's also important to note, I do want to say, that we will require all girls to create a separate from their school email address so that we have a consistent flow of communication. We ask you to check it regularly so that any updates may come through there. It's our primary way of communication with girls from the club. And that is only because, as you well know, emails are rejected from individuals that are not a part of the Newburgh Large City School District. And we want to make sure that you get all of the most pertinent and up-to-date information.
Okay, yeah, because I also registered. Okay, so I'm joining in the Zoom with my Chromebook, but I do have a separate email and phone number on my
You did join this. You did join the Zoom with your Chromebook.
Yes, but I do have a separate email address on my cell phone.
Awesome. Is it not a Newburgh Large City School District administered Chromebook? It's okay. That's why.
The Chromebook is Newburgh Large City School District.
Interesting. That is new, and I think that will we will do a little more digging on behalf of Newburgh Girls Code Club leadership to see, frankly, how that's possible, because that's not been possible in our experience. That's amazing that you're on here. Genesis, did you have, does that answer your question, Ziana? Okay, perfect. How about you, Genesis?
Not quite, because I have...
Wait, I'm sorry, Ziana, did you say that does not answer your question?
I have a separate computer, but it's not a Newburgh Large City School District computer. It was separately bought before.
Right, that's why. That makes sense.
Would it be
that's
okay
why.
No, the Chromebook that I'm in right now is from Newburgh Large City School District. But the Chromebook the other computer I'm talking about, the MacBook, which I would actually would I need to use that for coding?
You could use the MacBook for coding, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Genesis, tell us what it is, little sister.
have a question for, I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can hold the question. If it comes back to you, just put up a hand and we'll come back around to you. Any other questions on behalf of Erica? Right, I see Amy has your hand up. Is it?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So on our Newburgh and Large City School District school computers, they sometimes provide you with Scratch and you're allowed to use it. Would we use that, or would I have to get a new computer?
Again, what computer do you have? Chromebook?
I have the school one.
But is it just tablet or it's real?
Yeah,
notebook?
it's a Chromebook.
Chromebook. So Scratch is totally fine. If we do want to do more advanced web development, really writing and owning the code, it's better to own the computer. But there are some virtual environment which we can apply. So no worries, we will help you to figure it out.
Okay.
And again, we do have 5 laptops and virtual hotspots for individuals who don't have access to technology or the technology that will make them have the easiest time moving through the program.
It will very much depend on what you will choose to work on. If it will be Scratch, Chromebooks are totally fine. If you want to do more advanced stuff with web development, HTML, right? Hypertext markup language, building websites. So we can start with Chromebooks doing Google sites first, and then we can move to the real coding. Okay, Genesis.
Well, Mary Lou, did you have a comment on that quickly?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we'll let you know what the process is. If you need to borrow a laptop, it'll be like when you go to the library, you'll check it out. And if you need a hotspot because your internet connection is not good, we'll take care of that too. But it will be for a period of time. It will be for the period of time of the class. So, and then you'll have to bring it back. But I think as Yulia and Anusha are saying, there might be a period of time where your computer may be okay, or your tablet. So if you don't need it the whole time, don't check it out for the whole time, because then someone else can't have it. But if you do, we'll have them. But again, we only have 5, so we'll work on it. But I'll share that information if you do need it before the class starts.
Yeah, for the first 2 or 3 classes, you will be all set.
Yeah. Genesis, you remembered your question.
I was looking up the club, and when I was seeing it, I only saw this thing that was a book, a girls code club book, but I don't know if the website's supposed to be on my Chromebook, because right now I'm using my phone.
Ooh, the phone is not the best for coding for sure.
Yeah, I have a Chromebook, but I don't really I don't know how to use it for Zoom.
Okay.
Can you put the directions in the
Yeah,
chat?
I have the Newburgh Free Library website on my Chromebook.
So the same way.
So I
You will have the link. The first class will be dedicated to have you enrolling into the platform, so you will have the link to join, and we will make sure you will bookmark this link.
Okay, and also, when we have to use a computer or something, I can still use my Chromebook and be on the Zoom meeting at the same time, right?
Yes, you can do them simultaneously. Like if we're working on a task, or a project, or we're just doing some activity, you absolutely have the capacity to be on the Zoom and then simultaneously be doing that activity. Erica, I saw you making many animated faces, but I just want to check in to make sure if you have a question or not. And then I'll pass to Amy, and I think that will be our final question for the night before we round out. Erica, was there something that you wanted to share or ask?
No.
Okay, I appreciate your emojis. They're very affirmative. And Amy, let's close out with you.
So when you guys said that we would have to return like the computer at the end of the class, would it be at the end of the Zoom meeting, or would it be like at the end of the period of the class?
It would be at the end. You would check it out. Let's say we do the first 3 classes are all oriented around Scratch. And so everybody is situated with their Chromebook. And then when we move into a little bit more advanced tutorials and want to explore the depth of coding, you would check out the laptop. We would let you know in advance, okay, next week we're going to be working on these things. For those of you who only have Chromebooks, you're going to need to check out a laptop if you don't have access to a different laptop or desktop at home. And then you would check it out. So within that 1 week period, right, between Monday or Thursday, whatever day you're meeting, you'd have a week to come to the library. We would give you a sign out form or release form that you would then check out that model, that number. We would keep all the information on it. And then you would keep that through the duration of time that you need to use that. So if it's 2 classes, 3 classes, 5 classes, you would keep it out for that amount of time. And then you would bring it back. You would bring it back once you've completed your need with that device. And you'll return it to the library so that we have a laptop to lend out to another young lady who might need it for programming.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll be checking it out just like a book for a period of time. You won't have to bring it back after every class. Yeah, so we'll make it easy for you.
Also, you might don't need another professional laptop for coding if you will choose to stick with Scratch, which is actually very much possible. People are building amazing things with Scratch. Definitely, you do not need the advanced hardware for that. Raise your hand who wants to do Scratch, more Scratch. You've been doing some. Oh, okay.
Awesome.
At least 3, I see.
And can I also see a show of hands if you have already submitted your application to Newburgh Girls Code Club? Ziana, Genesis isn't raising her hand, but I know she submitted. I think I might have seen Rhea. Did I see your hand up? Did you submit an application yet?
Application in the chat.
Yep, I will drop that in the chat right now.
Thank you.
So the link that I've just dropped in the chat, no, it's not a link. Okay, give a moment. So the link that I'm dropping in the chat will actually take you to the library's Newburgh Girls Code Club landing page. And if you scroll to the bottom, that way you have all of the information that's necessary there. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see a big green button that says apply here. And it's the direct application form. I'm also going to drop that link in the chat right now as well. So there you have those last 2 links are links directly to all the information that we covered this evening, including where we will post this virtual info session, the apply here button, and then the second link is the application itself. Yes, I don't know who's saying my name, but.
Like what will be the next time that we will be on the Zoom meeting?
So this is actually just an information session. Now that you have submitted your application, we're going to go through all of the applications that we have received, and we're going to figure out who we are able to permit into the program. And that's really just based off of We'll try to keep the skill levels together. If we could take everybody into the class, trust me, we could at one time, but we really want to keep classes small enough that we can do enough one-to-one engaging and that the course material is challenging, but also supported. And so if we're not able to accept you into the program this time, we will keep your application on file and we will reach out next cohort to ask if you're interested to join our summer boot camp or our fall cohort. And many students do, So you'll next hear from us in about a week and a half. And we'll let you know if you have been accepted into the program or not. And if not, we'll let you know a couple really cool resources that you can begin practicing your coding skills or continue engaging with them. And also remind you of the opportunity to join one of our future cohorts.
It seems Jennifer has a question too. Jennifer, do you?
Miss Anisha,
Yes, Genesis.
I have one last question.
Tell
Like
us.
if we get accepted and like we go on Mondays, cause like that's the day that I put for the form. What time would it start at?
All classes will begin at 4 and end at 5:30. We'll ask you to sign on about 10 minutes early so that if anyone is having any microphone, video, screen share, or other technological troubleshooting issues, that we can do that before class commences at 4 p.m. We really want to use that hour and a half to be as impactful and thorough in the information that we're able to cover that day as possible.
Okay.
Did we have any questions from Jennifer? Jennifer, you raised your hand some time ago. Did you have any questions?
I just wanted to see if I can speak to Anusha after maybe sometime tomorrow, because I was still at work when you guys were in the middle of the videos. So I wanted to see if someone can like fill me in, me and my daughter together tomorrow, if that's possible. Okay.
I'm dropping my, are you able to access the chat?
Yes.
I just dropped my phone number in the chat. So at your convenience tomorrow, if you want to give me a call, I'll be available throughout the day to connect with you.
Okay, perfect. Because
or if you want to hang on after, whatever works. I'm happy to connect tomorrow, or if you wanted to connect after this call, I'd be happy to talk through the details with you now as well. But I understand you may be in transit from work and grounding.
Yeah, the connection is not that great. It's gonna disconnect sooner or later. So
no problem. I just asked, why don't you this evening, if you can, just text me your number and then I'll save it so I know it's you when the time comes. Or we can set up a time offline. Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
And Amy.
To register, would it be the Eventbrite link?
No, that was only to register for this evening. So do you see the very last link that I put in the chat right above my name and phone number? It starts with HTTPS and then it's docs.google, that one?
Yes.
That's the application form.
Okay.
So that's the guy that you want to fill out. Erica, you look confused.
I accidentally put on my camera, so that's why I was confused.
Okay. But are you able to access the links okay, Erica? And do you have any questions?
I have enough coding knowledge, so if you can't accept everyone, I'd rather you just accept my sister, and I'll just I'll help her with her application. So that's all right.
That's very sweet of you.
Thank you. Saying that, I will stop recording.